What up, though? This is Curt Steele, and welcome to Lunchtime Detroit Lions Talk, brought to you by Detroit Lions on the Prowl and Lions Nation Unite. Today, we're going to go over these exclusive rights free agents that the Lions tendered. Man, there's 13 of these cats, so we're going to get into them. Then we're going to see if they're going to make the roster for the year. We're going to explain all that more, but I got to bring in my partner for today. Y'all know him. His name is LL Cool Torrance, man, king of the cuffing season. What's up, my dude?
I was like, he ain't gonna give me nothing today. But what's that on Prowl Nation? And good morning.
Hey, Coach Mike is off today, so let's get this thing started
Right now.
Let go.
It's Detroit Lions Talk, baby.
We're going to get up, and on the way up, we're going to buy the kneecap off.
Yes, sir. We in the deep.
All right, Kurt. I know you said we starting this one off with cats. Did you call them cats because they're lying?
Oh, yeah. You know, we got these cats that just got tendered their exclusive right free agent. So basically what an exclusive right free agent is a player on an expiring contract that has been accrued 2 or fewer seasons in the NFL. So if a team decides to offer an exclusive rights free agent a tender, that means they're offering them a 1-year deal, typically a minimum base salary. So it's not a lot on the books, but they cannot, I repeat, they cannot negotiate with another team. So either you play on the Lions or you sit out the season. I mean, that's what these guys are. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, you exclusively belong, your rights to to play belongs to the Detroit Lions or the team that you're assigned to. So let's kind of go, I'm going to go over these names and then we're going to get into a little bit later, where we think they're going to land on the roster. But let's get into this. You got long snapper Scott Daly, who took over for Don Muhlbach, who's now his coach. So that's kind of weird, right? You got punter Jack Fox. You know, Foxy's in the building. Mark Gilbert, who came over from the Pittsburgh Steelers midseason. Juju Hughes. Now, Hughes was a guy who came over after the season from the actual Rams. So he is a guy who's familiar with Aubrey Pleasant and that how he runs his secondary. You got Mr. Fumbleitis himself, Godwin Iwubuike, the lacrosse player Tom Kennedy. we got Tommy Craver in the building. Jesse Lominier, the Frenchie. Tackle Matt Nelson. This is the converted defensive player who switched to the offensive line last year. Kind of the guy who set a good standard last year. Kicker Riley Patterson, who came over from the Patriots practice squad. Then we got a homegrown guy, linebacker Anthony Pittman. We got cornerback Bobby Price, and a guy who I think kind of made a name for himself last year in Detroit once he got going. Tight end Brock Wright rounds out the 13 exclusive rights free agents. This group we got some guys who actually played some decent time last year, my man. What you just think of the group as a whole?
It's a pretty solid group. I think it's a group that we've got to hear their names. A lot of these guys got, like you said, a lot of playing time. A couple of guys on there that I'm hoping to, be a part of the team for years and years to come. So it's a good group, I believe.
Yeah. Definitely. If you like the video, go ahead and do that. Subscribe to the channel. You know how we do it. Get on the bus, Gus. Get on this train, Wayne. Get on the ride, Clyde. And go ahead and join us right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. So the family discussion topic for today is, who is your favorite player out of this group? I know who my guy is. My favorite guy is Foxy. That's my dude right there. That dude, he's a secret weapon. He definitely can flip the field. And that guy that was in the combine this year, kind of reminds me of Foxy. If you can what was his name? Matt Arisier.
Oh, yeah.
Man, that dude, he's running 4.7 40s and he was out there doing his thing, coughing corner. This was the first time they actually had special teams guys work out in the combine. And that guy out there at I think it's San Diego State, he made his name for himself. But I like Foxy. I like that sign. I was really looking at the Lions kind of sideways when they let go of Sam Martin. He went up there to Denver, and they brought in Foxy, man. Foxy been doing his thing. He's been up there leading the league in punting average each of the last 2 seasons. But All right. Hey, if you want to get yourself some lines on the Prowl gear, go over to lionsontheprowlshop.com. Get yourself some Prowl Nation gear. We still got that stuff over there, and like I said, we're working on some stuff with Lions Nation Unite to get this store up, and we're gonna have some new gear for you coming real soon. So stay tuned to that. If you want to get yourself some Lions gear or just some your favorite team's gear, period, go over to fanatics.com. They got a 60% off sale right now on most on a lot of items. So go over there and check it out. The link's in the description. A portion of the proceeds from that link go to help us grow the content on this channel. My man LL, what you got next up on these exclusive rights free agents?
All right, well, Curt, we're gonna go through these names, and I guess we're gonna figure out if these guys will actually make the 53-man roster, be relegated to our practice squad, or are they just a camp body? So, with no further ado, I don't know what ado means. So, with no further delay, let's hop right into it. Our exclusive rights free agent that we just signed for the 2022 season, starting off, Scott Daly, or long snapper Scott Daly. Do you think he makes the 53? Is he a practice squad player, or is he a camp body?
Oh, no doubt. He's 53, man. The Lions signed him last year. I just said they're waiting to sign him for a long-term contract. He did a good job last year. And I think with the tutelage of the mule himself, he'll be our long-term long snapper. That's a weird combination name, right? Long-term long snapper, yeah.
Right. Right. Oh, no, I agree with you 100% that he's definitely making a 53-man roster. I'm going to keep it special teams related. You already mentioned him. He's probably, in my opinion, probably the best punter in the whole league. We got our punter, Jack Fox. You think he's making the 53, practice squad, or camp body?
That's too eeasy, man. You know he's on the 53, man. We gotta work that term out for him so we can get him a long-term deal. That's all we need to do for him.
Yeah, right, right. Once again, I'll keep it on this side of town. We're gonna slide over to kicker Riley Patterson. Is he a 53-man roster maker? Is he a practice squad player, or is he a camp body?
Now I'm gonna say this. I think right now he is a practice squad / camp body. Now I'll say that for a reason. Some people are gonna be like, "Oh man, this guy, he was the best." Austin Seibert is still under contract with the Lions, so he just was on injured reserve. That's gonna be a good battle between those two. You know, once you get him in the camp. But I think he's in a battle, so I'm not sure that he makes a 53-man right off the bat. I understand people. Oh man, he did such a good job. He didn't kick over a field goal over 50 yards this year, so. Austin Seibert, I think he's going to be a camp battle for him to make the roster between him and Austin Seibert.
That's a good point. I kind of forgot all about Austin Seibert. I'm gonna say he makes the 53-man, and maybe that's just because I want him to. All right, so we'll go ahead.
Wait a minute. And the thing with Austin Seibert is that he can punt and kick. He had both roles when he was in college, so. That may be the deciding factor. So say if Jack Fox get hurt, you have a backup punter and Austin Seibert. Right. He can do both. He can do both duties. So, all right, what you got next, man?
Riley Patterson better get on the line with Jack Fox and start practicing. Next up, we're gonna go with cornerback Mark Gilbert, 53, practice squad or camp body.
I think he's gonna be a practice squad guy. We got a really deep secondary, and the reason why I say he's gonna be a practice squad guy. It's because of the fact that I think they're going to go younger again in the draft, maybe later on down the line or unrestricted free agents. You look at how many people were hurt in the secondary this year, and they had to bring him in mid-season. So I think that unless he, you look at AJ Parker and you look at Jerry Jacobs, unless he can outplay them to get on that 53-man roster, he's one of those guys who will probably be relegated to the practice squad.
I'm going to say 53 for now. Safety, or next up, safety, Juju Hughes, 53, practice squad or camp body?
Oh, you know what? I'm going to say 53 just because we have the lack of depth we have in the safety position right now. We only have really him and Harris. Will Harris are I think the only safeties. I think CJ Moore are the only safeties. Even if CJ Moore was on a roster, I don't think he may not be going to be on the roster come next week. But I think it's going to be a 53 just because of that and the familiarity he has with Aubrey Pleasant.
I'm gonna say practice squad for now. I think that Tracy Walker will probably be back. I think we may. I don't know if we'll aim at a safety in free agency, but I definitely think we're gonna spend the draft pick on the safety this year, and then maybe some UDFA's or something. But I'm gonna say practice squad for now. Okay. Next up, I ain't gonna say your boy. That boy, as I call him, that boy be fumbling. Running back or converted running back. I got to make sure that maybe that could be why he, why he fumbles. But converted from cornerback, I believe, or defensive back, running back, guy on Igwe Bikwe. 53 practice squad or camp body.
Dr. Koffenstein would definitely be on the practice squad unless he get the. If you look at the moves they made already, you have DeAndre Swift coming back. You have Jamal Williams on the contract. You got the young fella Jamar Jefferson already on the roster, and they signed Netflix Craig Reynolds already. That's 4 running backs. I don't see where we hold on to a fifth one. So yeah, I think he's a practice squad guy.
Right. I agree with you 100%. I think he's probably a practice squad / camp body. He might be teetering that line.
Yep.
Next Agreed. Up, wide receiver, Tom Kennedy. 53 practice squad or camp body.
I think Tom Kennedy will go back to his original position of being on the practice squad. I mean, this dude's been on our practice squad forever, and with the new rules about practice squad players, I think he will solidify himself as a practice squad captain.
I didn't even know about the practice squad captain, but I'm gonna ride with you on that. I'm gonna say this is our practice squad captain.
Yeah, definitely.
So next up, guard Tommy Kramer, 53 practice squad or camp body.
He has a chance to make the 53 just because of the depth that we need on the offensive line. I think that bringing him back in tells me what they're going to do with the guy from Kentucky. I just think he's not going to really, I can't even remember his name right now because that's how unless he's played. Mr. Nasty.
I can't either. I used to know it.
And that tells me that how kind of irrelevant he is on the roster right now because he hasn't played. He's been hurt, or Logan Stenberg. That's his name.
Logan Stenberg.
And he is one of those guys where Kramer can solidify himself on the roster and kind of just push him out. Good bend, and with the fact that just he hasn't been able to get on the field, that tells me a lot about what's going to happen with him going forward. So I think he has a chance to make it over Logan Stenberg.
Right. I agree with you on that. I'm going to say practice squad for now. I think that we may end up spending a draft pick or so, or, we may end up bringing in some other offensive linemen. They may be a little bit better than Tommy Kramer. Next up, outside linebacker, Jesse Lemonnier, if I pronounced that right.
Lemonnier.
53, practice squad or camp body?
We're going to put Lemonnier is going to be a camp body. Absolutely. He's a camp body. He was signed later in the season. I think he's a camp body just because of the fact that he was brought in because of all the injuries we had to the defensive end or outside linebacker room last season. But I think that with the signing of Josh Woods, that's going to push him either to a practice squad or a camp body.
Good point with the Josh Woods. I'm gonna say practice squad for now. Next up, tackle. Well, our 6 offensive linemen in a lot of cases, swing tackle, Matt Nelson, 53 practice squad or camp body.
He's a 53 guy. Just to be honest with you, and with that being said, and the reason being, when we went to that 6 offensive linemen, he was key to the running game. So, and we saw success in the running game, but against a pretty good defense in Pittsburgh, where when he went out the game, you saw the impact he had when he was not in the game. So I'm gonna say he's gonna make the 53-man roster. Yeah, I
agree. 53. Next up, linebacker Anthony Pittman, 53 practice squad or camp body.
Man, I would love the big homie, Anthony Pittman played there at Wayne State. I would love to say he's going to be on the 53-man roster, but I'm going to go practice squad.
Yeah, I'm
practice squad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't. I want him to get more playing time. I'm with you, but I'm gonna go practice squad as well. Next up, defensive back Bobby Price, 53, practice squad of camp body.
He is a camp body. I know he's a converted safety
Really?
to cornerback. He's a camp body. He's a camp because, man, I swore I saw his name on his back of his jersey change a couple times to Toast during the season. So Bobby Price is
That's funny.
He's a camp body.
I'm gonna say practice squad. I think they just for the whole familiarity effect thing. I think he. I'm gonna just practice squad for now.
Right.
And last but certainly not least, tight end Brock Wright, 53, practice squad or camp body.
Now, shout out to my man Jim Bordeaux, you know what I'm saying, rest in peace, the big homie. But this was his guy, and I think he makes the 53-man roster just because of the fact that he played his way on the 53-man roster last year. Had some good catches, a couple touchdowns. I think he played his way on the roster. He's very athletic, more than what he showed on tape in college because they used him as a blocker, but he showed his ability to catch this season. So Brock Wright makes the 53-man roster. And plus, you look at our depth at tight end, it's him and TJ. That's pretty much it.
Right. I agree, 53. And I think they're going to spend the draft pick on the tight end this year. So that wraps it up. We had those exclusive rights free agents. We went through to see if we think that they're going to make a 53-man squad, the practice squad, or just be around, be a camp body. So we're going to go ahead and leave this one. Where we heading next, Kurt?
Go ahead and hey, if you like the content, go ahead and like the video, share the video. Hey, check us out over on Lions Nation Unite. Man, I got the show on day. Go over to the YouTube channel today and check out the town hall we had last night. If you didn't catch it live, man, we had so much fun chopping it up with Herman Moore yesterday, and Micro Mike always acting a fool. Everything king. We even had Anthony from the World of Lions UK. Chrissy was on the platform. So, and they got a brand new studio over there too, man. So go over and check it out, man. It's fire on Lions Nation.
Can we go to the studio?
You Herman Moore contributors can go to the studio. So if you want to just hook up with Chrissy and go over there and check that thing out, man. It's very, very nice. They had it's nice. So go over and check it out, Lions Nation Unite. If you want to follow us on your favorite social media platforms, go ahead and hang out with your boys. There's the information right here. You can check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all those things, and you can go over and check out my TikTok page, man, and see how I get down over there as well. All right. So with all that being said, man, let us know if you think these guys are going to be 53 practice squad or just a camp body. And yourself, let us know in the comments down below, because you know how we do it. We pick 6 of them things to read on the next show. And now it's time for my favorite segment of the show, because guess what? I just talked about it. It's time for the comment cards, baby. John Robinson says, "Hey, Coach Jones, did boxing promoter ever confuse you with the machine gun Mike Jones?" So Mike Jones will be back on the show on Monday, but I'm sure he will answer that. I'll let him know that he has a comment, and today he can go ahead and check it out and answer you back.
And I'll admit, when I was getting these comments together, I forgot that he wasn't going to be on with us today. So I'll put that there so he give him a chance to answer. So my apologies to Coach Mike and to John Robinson. But thank you for the comment, though. Next up, Dag the Gert said, they have those people that will break up with someone for you. Sounds like Coach Mike Jones wants to start a similar service to fire Detroit coaches. Here's a sample call. "Hey, Coach Patty, good news. You gone. Good for us anyway. Your boxes are packed and dropped in the Detroit River already. We also rigged the door to hit you harder on your way out. Why are you still here? Go." I don't even
Dag,
I like that.
That is hilarious.
But I think just all physical activities with old fatty.
No, man. Look, I'm gonna tell you, like I said yesterday, man, she leaned forward and ran up on that dude and let him smell her perfume. And said, "You'll win this game, you gonna be out of here." Man, that Thanksgiving game was over, and I think it was probably a matter of minutes. He was sitting in her office talking about, you gotta go.
Right.
Yeah. Next, man, that's funny though. Scott Smith says, I believe that once Coach Campbell took over the play calling and got comfortable with it, is the biggest reason the Lions turned things around, along with the realization that each and every player, especially Goff, was called out by the coaches and about their playing for their careers. I think that they leaned on them a little bit, but I do think that I think I think Reynolds was one of the reasons why it turned around some, just because of the fact with the familiarity, you like that, especially when you have a quarterback, you want someone he can play with that they're familiar with. Sometimes it takes them a while to build chemistry on a new team, and to bring a guy in that he has some kind of chemistry with, that helped him in that second half of the season.
Yep, I agree with that. And like what you pretty much said about Miss Sheila, I think that's what happened with Dan Campbell. He let Jared Goff smell his cologne. Like, look, man,
Yep.
Look at here, dog. You ain't doing it right. So Michael Smith says, I love the Josh Reynolds re-sign. We need him. Now draft 2 receivers. There's room for them on the roster. We will be extremely happy I will be extremely happy if we trade out a number 2 spot. We need to beef up the defense. Plenty of talent in the draft. Thanks for the comment, Michael Lewis, but don't draft 2 receivers this year. At least that's my statement.
I would draft 2 receivers if you're looking at 5th round or later, I'm with you on that. It's because of the fact I want those first top picks in the first, at least the first 3 rounds, to be defensive players. That's just me.
I wouldn't mind a wide receiver in, the first couple of rounds, maybe, either at the end of the first or early second, depending on who it is. But we don't need to.
Yeah, I think we can, and I think we still can pick up one in free agency. That's just me. As long as we don't break the bank. And there's going to be a lot of guys out on the street this year, because they took those 1-year deals, and now free agency is getting ready to start here in a couple of days. And it's going to be a lot of talent out there, people getting released, people with cap situations. So there's going to be some players out there to be picked up. All right. Friend of the show, Cap Ice Cold, baby. He says, do you guys think the offer to the Seahawks would have been the same to the Packers if they hadn't hurried up and said they're doing Rodgers at $200 million? If so, do you think that they're feeling dumb as hell right now? I don't think so. I
didn't know the Seahawks made an offer to the Packers.
I don't think so. If that's what you're saying, I think that Aaron Rodgers did what he he told the people a little bit, but he did what he said he was going to do. He said he was going to have a decision by the cap deadline, and that's what he did. He said he was going to stay with the Packers. Now they said that it's conflicting reports on the contract being that much, being $200 million. Mm-hmm. But if you look at it, they're still $30 million over the cap, and they had to tag Devontae Adams to keep him on the roster. They're still in cap hell. It's going to be a lot of bodies leaving to Green Bay this season just because they cannot keep up. They got to pay Zaire Alexander, so it's going to be some bodies. You know what I'm saying? So one of them Smith boys is going to be gone. That Campbell linebacker, he's going to be out the door. So there's going to be some guys as key players. They're going to get younger this year. And they don't have, and like they have a lot of draft capital up there in Green Bay. Their cap situation is pretty terrible. So $30 million over the cap still just to get, they got to do some what do you call that? Some creative accounting to get those contracts right up there in Green Bay.
So all the players end up leaving Green Bay for greener pastures. Peace out. The Tundra Toy says, you caught it, Coach Mike. It's taken him a while to get acclimated to the system.
Yeah. Well, I think we're talking about
talking about Jared Goff and his last year. I don't know what it was. I just felt like y'all didn't remember when he was playing bad just because he started playing good. I didn't forget.
Yeah, what I'm saying? Hey, and speaking of those players up in Green Bay, Jamal Williams will tell you, what I'm saying, if you don't want your quarterback, all in your videos, come to the D, baby,
Right. So thank everybody for those comments. Of course, you already know throughout the show and for the family discussion topic, leave us comments and we'll pick 6 of them things to read on the next show. So sliding from there on over to everybody's favorite segment, and that is the Dessert with your man Curt. What you got for us today, Curt?
Hey, Dessert with your man Curt is brought to you by Delightful Bites, custom cookies and desserts for any occasion. If you like how they look, you'll love how they taste. Go over to Delightful Bites Delightful Bites over on Facebook. If you don't do the Facebook thing, their email's in the description, delightfulbites18@gmail.com. Delightful Bites, get your cookie on. Now, I watched the Josh Reynolds presser last night, and one thing he said that kind of really stuck with me, he said that he felt like he was home in Detroit. It felt like home, you know, and for him, that's kind of a big deal. If you don't know his kind of backstory, where he played high school out in San Antonio area, that's the one area that in Texas high school football that's not really highly recruited. Yeah, it's more in that Dallas, that Dallas Fort Worth area and Houston.
Yeah, North Texas.
Yeah, North. So for him to, he had to go to JUCO route, ended up playing out there with the Texas A&M and made a name for himself, got drafted by the Rams, kind of got lost, in the sauce in Tennessee because he went there on a free agent deal, but they ended up bringing in Julio Jones. So he just kind of got pushed out the door, and he found his home in Detroit. And I like that he felt home in the Motor City, and he felt great coming back and being a part of the Lions. That's what you want from your players. He's ready to get out there. He said once he heard that, from his agent that we're gonna end up coming back to Detroit on a 2-year deal, he was ready to go ahead and get out there now and put the pads on and get to work. So he said he did hit up Jared Goff, and Jared Goff was excited for him to come back. And who wouldn't be excited to come back to get their Wooby back on the team, that security blanket. So yes, but Josh Reynolds just saying that yesterday, it felt like home coming back to Detroit on a 2-year deal really felt good. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about him saying like he felt like he was at home in Detroit?
Good, man. I like that. I'm glad for him. Like you just said, I'm not familiar with his path, but at least he's found some comfort along that path, here in Detroit. So good for him, man. Yeah. Maybe it help his homie turn some things around. If not, y'all both got to go.
Yeah, that JUCO route is that's a hard thing. And we all know the slogan, what the NFL stands for. People say the no fun league, or it's not for long. And
not for long.
To find a home in Detroit for him. And you think about his numbers last year, the guy had 306 yards, a couple touchdowns, but he only played 7 games. That's 43% of the game. So you add the rest of the season on there, another 9 games, man, he probably would have had a lot better numbers. Think about if they'd have opened the offense up a lot sooner, he probably would have been up there with him, and probably St. Brown would have had 1,000 yards apiece. That's just me, you know what I'm saying? What ifs and all that good stuff like that. But what you got? Like you got something to say.
No, I don't want all that now. He got a roll. I don't want him stepping nowhere near close to my homie St. Brown. No, not that role.
No, I mean no. I'm just saying if you can mix.
I know what you're saying.
I want them to spread the ball around. You know what I'm saying? If you can have 2,000-yard receivers, that's mean you're doing something right. I mean, because that means you can't kill one receiver. You have to, spread the ball around. And I think with those two guys, bring back TJ Hockenson, you add another young piece and an experienced veteran, that passing game could definitely be dangerous with under the tutelage of Van Johnson in the next season.
Or find a new quarterback. So
here you go with that. Hey, man, that shit is Dessert with your man Curt, brought to you by, I ain't messing with you, man. Delightful Bites. Get your cookie on. Now it's time to walk on over to that Wall of Fame, baby. All right, on today's Wall of Fame, we got the Midwest Lion in the building. We got John Kapler, Bo Gagrius, the Flintstone, Jimbo G. What up, my dude? Smoking Jeremy B. Check out that Lion Station Unite town hall meeting we had yesterday, because the king of everything, the Everything King, was on there as well. And we got Bob Korowski to round out our bronze members. And the silver members, we got Henry Wallace, Shannon Peck, Mr. Scotty the Bear, the Frenchman, baguettes, and all that. And the signal is flying over the Motor City because the Batman of the 313 is coming to save the day. Over in our gold members, we got Lion Nor the Hopeful. Man, I love that name, Lion Nor the Hopeful. We got Michael Lewis in the building who, left a comment. So, and the inspirational Turner C. Burley, Miles Gibbs, just in the D, Michael Huck, Mr. Reliable, just in the D, North End Ken, and the Dr. Detroit. He is always in. To become a member of the Wall of Fame, click the Join Now button in the description. Time for final thoughts for today's show. What you got, my man?
I may have said this in different words before on this here show or just in life, but I really can't wait for whatever's to come with this team. I really hate how national sports media speaks about the Lions. It's either they don't cover us or they cover us incorrectly. It's always just something real dismissive. Especially in talked about why Aaron Rodgers didn't leave. Oh, it's the easiest conference to win. They easily have the best quarterback. It's the Vikings, it's the Bears, and they have this going on. The Vikings got this going on. And then, it's just the Lions. It's always, whenever they get to talking about the NFC North and the competition here, it's always blah, blah, blah about the Vikings, blah, blah about the Bears, and it's just the Lions. I can't wait till we start putting some foots in y'all's asses and y'all got to start saying some different things about us. Hopefully it's maybe, maybe it's because it happened way before him. I was going to blame Jared Goff. I was going to find a way to blame Jared Goff. I'm going to do that right now. But I just can't wait for the day when they can no longer say it's just the Lions.
Right. And I think that's what you're saying is definitely is key. I like that. But shout out to these 13, before I get into mine, shout out to the 13 exclusive rights free agents that got tendered. And, welcome back to the D. And I get your point, man. I feel you. Even with Jared Goff, we need to take a quarterback at number 2, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that's not the right move for the Lions right now. I just think with this quarterback draft, I think we need to, focus on continuing to build the trenches, build our defense. We can get a quarterback later on down the line. That's just me. I'm not really, looking at, not saying that these guys aren't great. Yeah, there's a diamond in the rough every draft class at quarterback. But
you ever notice just how they talk about draft picks with the Lions? Like it was, what's McShay? Not yesterday, but his mock draft before that when he had us taking Sam Howell at 32. He said all of this stuff about these other quarterbacks. Oh, he doesn't have the blah, blah, like this. He doesn't have blah, blah, like this. But I think this is a player that the Lions could take here at 32. Like you said, all of these.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, right?
Why on earth would you do that to us? Like, why would you say that? You wouldn't say that about another team in this league. Why would you say that about us?
Yeah, because, it makes sense for us to take the, best player available. I think that
because we're trying to get better. Yeah.
And I think the thing is with the Lions and the quarterback right now, I think that they're going to stick with Jared Goff. They'll pick up a veteran. They may bring back Tim Boyle on a 1-year deal, just to sit behind Jared Goff for another year. But I think what's going to happen is that they're going to build this team, and that 1 or 2 last piece is going to be a quarterback to be plopped in the next 2 seasons. But I don't think it's this year. They're going to stick with Jared Goff. You look at this contract. No, with everyone that got moved around with the trades and everything like that over the last few days, and Aaron Rodgers staying put, this quarterback market is dry, and no one's going to be checking for Jared Goff right now. So basically, we stuck with JG for at least 1 more season. That's just me. Hey, and we can move on and cut him after next season and have a very few penalty dollars in the cap hit when we do that. But I think we're stuck with him unless we restructure his deal, and I hope we do not. We're going to at least have him for at least 1 more season. So that is my final thoughts for today, man. Today is Thursday, man. Don't forget tomorrow, man. You know what it is. It's Friday then. Hey, it's Saturday, Sunday. What? It is Free for All Friday. We're live on YouTube and Twitter tomorrow. So, man, make sure you hang out with us, and we're going to have some fun. You know how we do it. You never know who's going to stop by, but Free for All Friday will be tomorrow. We're live on YouTube and Twitter. So it's Thursday, man. The grind is almost over, man. Go ahead. Get your napkin. Crumbs off your face. Finish your drink and get back to work, baby. And whatever you're doing in life, you got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. My man, LL. This is Curt Steele, and we will holler at you real soon. We love you, Jim.